Today is May 30th, 2024. My name is Rob Carter of Kalamazoo Right to Life. This is Pro-Life Week. Well, this is not a banana, but it is the game Bananagrams, which my wife and I just love. It really is a great game. But just pretend for the moment that this is a banana. And the only reason I bring this up is because of what happened today in New York City, when Donald Trump was found guilty on all 34 charges for doctoring his books on supposedly on a campaign finance violation. The whole thing was bogus. It's a show trial. It was a fraud from the get-go. And it made me think about that term that we've heard for many years, a banana republic. So what is a banana republic? Well, it's a place where law and order, justice, the rule of law is abandoned. It is pushed to the side, and subversive forces are able to overrule, circumvent the due process. So in banana republics, you might have a general or a colonel or some group of officers stage a coup d'etat and topple a legitimate government, like Fidel Castro. They conducted a revolution. There was a coup. Vietnam had a coup back in the 1960s, 63, I think it was. A lot of countries have coups. And the governments that come in are shams. They're not democratic governments. They're most typically dictatorships, one-party rule. And unfortunately, what happened today in that courtroom in New York just put another nail to the coffin that our country is a country of laws and rules and policies, and the process of equal treatment under law. It's gone. It is absolutely gone. You know, are we still a democracy? Yeah, we still have a democratic form of government. But when you take the leading candidate of one political party and you throw the book at him and you accuse him, and I mean, let's go back to the case. It goes back to 2017. It was a process crime, just a paper crime. It was a misdemeanor, and that had run, the statute of limitations had run out on it. The federal government chose not to pursue it because it didn't qualify as a campaign violation. And another a court didn't want to take it up because it had expired, statute of limitation. So it was going absolutely nowhere. But then they resurrected it, and well, the rest is history. And I'm convinced, I mean, I may not be, politically astute, but I'm convinced that two things are going to happen as a result of this. One is that Donald Trump is going to raise millions, tens of millions of dollars in the next 3 or 4 days, maybe $100 million for his campaign, because half the country is upset. And before I finish my thought, you remember back to 2020, January 20th, 2021. Joe Biden is giving his inaugural address. And you have to remember, the Democrats said that Donald Trump basically is the most evil and corrupt president in American history. He brought chaos and corruption and everything to the Oval Office. And Joe Biden was going to restore the dignity of the White House, and he was going to bring us together as a nation, because Trump was this divider. He divided people. He divided people by racial lines and economic lines, but Biden was going to be the unifier. He's going to restore the heart and soul of America, and he's going to steer that ship on a sure course, because Trump had been so chaotic. Well, I'm not too sure about how much unity Joe Biden has brought to the to America, but I might say that in light of what has happened, and in light of some of the things that the Biden Justice Department has been doing, I think maybe Joe Biden has unified the country more ways than one, because now maybe a majority of people are unified in deciding that they want to defeat Joe Biden at the ballot box this November and bring Donald Trump back. Just like Grover Cleveland came back from a first president who won non-consecutive terms as president, and now Trump may be the second president to do that. So the 2 points I want to bring up was that he was going to raise a lot of money, sympathy money, so to speak, and that revved up his base, feeling that he is a martyr. He's been persecuted by the Democrats. But the second point that I wanted to mention is that I truly believe this guarantees Donald Trump's reelection. I really believe that. I mean, it's not the first time that I've said on this platform that I have found fault with some of the things that Donald Trump has said or done, primarily said, that were disrespectful, uncouth. His demeanor sometimes is just atrocious. But I believe that he is going to get reelected because of what happened today. I think people who were on the fence are going to say, whoa, wait a minute. I may not be a big Trump supporter, but what they did to him was outrageous, absolutely outrageous. And I think he's going to get some sympathy votes. And Joe Biden, what does Joe Biden have to run on? Oh, yeah. Food prices are up 25%. And gas prices are up, since he's become president. And gas prices are up 40, 50%. And mortgage rates used to be at 2.5%, 3%. Now they're 6.5% or 7%. Those are all good numbers. Crime is up. The number of people dying of fentanyl overdoses is up. The number of illegal immigrants crossing our southern border is up. Under Trump, it was about 400,000 a year, which is not great. But now under Biden, it's about 2 to 3 million per year. So we've added about 8 to 10 to 12 million new immigrants crossing our border illegally, and some of them are bringing fentanyl. Some of them are sex traffickers. Some of them are gang leaders. Some of them are families who are good, decent people who want to get out of dangerous countries or countries with great poverty and want a better life in America. I can understand that. But not everyone crossing is a family where there's a mom and a dad and kids. There's a lot of people who are single men crossing. And have they been vetted? No. Do we know where they came from? Do we know their backgrounds? Do we know what kind of diseases they might be bringing in, or what kind of drugs they're bringing in, or if they're connected to a gang? Do we know that stuff? Do we really know who's coming into our country? And then we bus them to Detroit and Chicago and New York and Lincoln, Nebraska and Tucson. And are these communities able to absorb these people and give them housing and food and health benefits and all that at the sake of depriving it from veterans and poor people on welfare? So Joe Biden has a lot on his plate that is going wrong. Not to mention his problem with Israel and Hamas, his disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan back in 2021. So he has flaws, he has handicaps, and now Alvin Bragg, a DA in New York, has just given Donald Trump another ace in the deck, which is a phony charge against him that will be appealed and most likely will be the case will be overturned on the appeal. But voters will vote for Trump in mass because he is perceived as being a persecuted political candidate running for president. So we'll see how it all plays out. We'll see. You know, I just, as an aside here, I saw in the news this morning that Biden announced that he's going to, if there's a vacancy on the Supreme Court, he's going to pick a progressive. Well, that is no surprise. I mean, we're not expecting him to pick a conservative. Biden, his whole career, Biden was a moderate Democrat. He was even moderately even pro-life, somewhat. But ever since he became president, he has abandoned any element of moderation. He is, especially on abortion or transgender, the guy is a flaming, he's a flame-throwing liberal. He's nothing like what he might have been 30 years ago. He's a hardcore pro-abortion ideologue. And I think he is going to be defeated. No matter these promises, yeah, we're gonna stack the court with liberal justices. We're gonna codify Roe v. Wade. We're gonna give women the guarantee of reproductive rights. We're gonna make sure that women have health care because abortion is health care to the Democrats. I think it's going to backfire. And the backfiring began this afternoon when the jury voted 12-0 to convict Donald Trump on 34 counts, felony charges. With that, I'll let you go. I will see you next time.